So today's topic is going to be about like weight loss as a journey. And so just think of it as like a marathon rather than a sprint. So if you have 5 pounds or less to lose, then yes, we can do that faster, right? That it doesn't have to take forever to do that. But if you are looking for something, if you have more weight to lose, then you have to kind of get rid of the thought that that's going to happen right away, right? Because it didn't come on in a fast fashion, and it's not going to come off in a fast fashion. So think of it more as a marathon than a sprint. And when you are deciding to go into another diet, my approach is to prepare you for that dieting phase. And so to do that, it's like the diet before the diet. So before I put my clients into a fat loss phase, there's a preparation phase. So the preparation phase looks like practicing how to track macros, increasing your protein, but it's also recovering from the diet that you were just on or that you were just in. So before we can embark on that weight loss journey, just think of it as like training for a marathon. Like you wouldn't just go into a marathon without any training. So what we have to do is we have to most likely repair and restore your metabolism from the diet that you just came off of. So it depends on how long you were in your diet that you just came off of. And for a lot of women, they're like, I've always been in a diet, right? I've been dieting for 20 years. So if that's the case, then this process is going to be a little bit longer. But what we need to do is we're going to recover you from the diet that you were in. And that just means bringing up your metabolism, bringing up your hormones into, your body's always looking for homeostasis. So it needs a certain amount of calories for just the everyday function. And then for all the activities. So we're just going to lump that all into maintenance calories. So once you know what your maintenance calories are, those are the calories that you should be maintaining on. We're not going to lose weight on those calories, and we're not going to gain weight on those calories. So it's kind of like a balance, and that number is going to change every day due to how much activity that you do. So if you increase your activity, then you're going to have to increase your calories in. So it's just, it's a little bit of a balance. I know people focus a lot on cardio, exercise to bring calories out, and that's not exactly how it works. You need to control the calories that are coming in, but the fact that you are doing exercise is just going to increase your metabolism's need for more calories. So to enter into this fat loss phase, what we need to do is we need to restore and repair your metabolism from the diet that you have been in. So depending on how long you have been in that diet, we're going to see like how long that's going to take. So it could be anywhere from like in that preparation phase, like it could be 4 weeks. And that's just a place where you're going to be practicing again, like I said, tracking and seeing, if we can get the protein in and so things like that to build you up for success for the fat loss phase. But if you've been eating 1,200 calories for a while, then we need to restore your metabolism. And to do that, we have to look at some of the things that are going on in your life, look at sleep and stress, and then we also have to bring up calories. So we're going to bring calories up closer to maintenance. And I know it doesn't make sense, right? Why am I going to eat more to lose weight? Well, we're not in the weight loss phase yet. So we need to prepare you to get there. And so that's what the process looks like. And it's just preparing you for success, because if you're truly following a 1,200 calorie diet right now and you're not losing weight, that's just proof that that diet's not going to work. So what would you do from there? Like all you could do is lower calories more. And that's not good for your body at all. And every time you do that, you're decreasing more muscle mass. You're losing weight, but most of that is half of that could be muscle and half of that could be fat. But guess what happens when you lose that 5 pounds that way? Then when you start bringing in more calories, the weight that you gain is going to be all fat. So now you're altering your body composition. So each time you go into a very large deficit, you're going to be losing muscle and fat. Every time you gain weight on, you don't necessarily gain muscle. If you're not actively trying to put on muscle, it will just come on as fat. And so that's what happens to your body composition. I'm not gluten-free, so I don't. So that's what's happening to your body composition. We're altering it, and you're going to lose your muscle tone, and then you're just going to end up with more fat on your body every time you do that. So this is what I mean about repairing and restoring your metabolism to get it ready for a dieting phase. We want to make sure that we have plenty of calories on board first to bring that up. And there's two ways that you can do it. You can do it in 2 stages. So if you're truly following 1,200 calories, and we'll talk about like if you truly are. So you can bring it up in increments, which is what a lot of my clients do because they're scared shitless to gain more weight. And they don't quite understand the process that this is a necessary thing. So their maintenance might be 1,800 or 1,900 calories. So we have to get them up to 1,800 to 1,900 calories. Well, if you're eating 1,200 calories, that's 600 to 700 calories more a day. And think of it this way, that's 600 to 700 calories more a day that you get to eat, right? So, but that's not what's going on in their heads. They are like, holy shit, I am going to gain weight. Yes, you are going to gain weight, but it's not as much as you think it's going to be. So, I know that you're struggling to lose like 5 pounds on this 1,200 calories. You know, when you increase your foods this way in like a slower manner, yes, you're going to have a little bit of fat gain, but mostly it's just the glycogen and water from the carbohydrates that you're taking in. You're bringing in more food. You have more food in your body. So, of course, that's going to weigh more. So that's why I do it in a couple different stages. So say we'll go from 1,200 to 1,500, and then we go from 15 to 18. And so the process really depends on the client, how long this is going to take to get to that repair and restore phase with the metabolism. We stick there for 1 to 2 weeks, and then we see how the body is taking on. We should start to see biofeedback improving. Sleep should improve. Digestion should improve. Mood should improve. And so these are all benefits of actually having more calories and not being in such a low deficit, right? This is actually how you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel good. All right. So don't be afraid to bring on more calories, and don't be afraid to live in a maintenance phase. Like maintenance is where it's at. Like that's where I am right now. So to maintain my weight, I'm anywhere from 18 to 2,000 calories. It kind of depends on what I'm doing. So I don't do cardio. I get in my steps every day, but I do weight training. So on those days, like I might need to eat, 2,000 calories. And then other days, like maybe I don't need to eat, 2,000 calories. So it's kind of a moving target, but once you're in maintenance, you have a little bit more freedom. So even if I had like a 2,200 calorie day, like say yesterday when I went with some friends and had margaritas and some chips, and I actually opted, instead of a chimichanga, I actually opted for a salad with some shrimp because it sounded amazing. So I saved some calories there, but I did go ham a little bit on the chips. So and had 2 margaritas. So that and I just did an estimate before I went out, like how much that would be. So I knew like that wasn't gonna like blow all my calories. I knew like I could have that. I just looked to see how many calories it was. So you have that kind of freedom when you are in a maintenance phase. And then when you are in a fat loss phase, you still have a range. It's just not as big. You're not going to be able to get away with those higher calorie days as often. If once in a while, if you have it, then that's not a big deal. But if it's something that you're going to do every single weekend and then deprive yourself during the week and do it every single weekend, that's just negating all the effects, and in fact is doing a little bit of damage each time, because you're bringing in so much food and calories at one time in those 3 days. Your body doesn't know what to do with it because maybe you've been so low calorie during the week. So it's not, no, actually that I'm getting off topic. So maintenance is where it's at, and then being in the fat loss phase to lose weight. Spend some time in maintenance first before you go into that fat loss phase. So now if you're truly eating 1,200 calories, that's just not enough for most people, right? If you're 125 pounds, maybe 130 pounds, then you might need 1,200 calories to lose weight, but probably not. Would be a little bit too low. That would be like the low range, and you could maybe get away with it for a couple of weeks. But what happens when you stop losing weight? People think it's a plateau and that they need to lower their calories more. Basically, your metabolism has downshifted, is down-regulated. So your metabolism slows as you lose weight, but it also slows if you don't have any calories, enough calories on board. So I don't want to bore you with the metabolism stuff, but also, following a 1,200 calorie diet is going to set you up for those weekend binges. So say you're, and here we go again, it's Sunday, and you're going to start your diet again tomorrow, and then you'll be good like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, hey, and then Friday is like, well, I was good all week, so I earned this margarita, or I earned this pizza. Right? And so now we come to a slippery slope, when in reality you should have been probably having anywhere from 16 to maybe 1,800 calories to lose weight, but you put into MyFitnessPal that you wanted to lose 2 pounds a week. So now it's sunk you down to 1,200 calories. So it's just not sustainable. So here we are, Friday, pizza, margarita, beer, whatever. And so you're now looking at like from, instead of 1,200, maybe 2,000 calories. And then we come into Saturday, and then you're like, well, it's the weekend, so I'm just gonna have, whatever. I'll be fine, right? Those weekends can be anywhere from 25 to 3,000 calories. You do it again Saturday, you do it again Sunday. Now you've just taken away this whole deficit that you had during the week. So it's those weekend binges that, and I'm not even going to call it binges because it's just lifestyle. If it's that lifestyle that's preventing you from losing weight, and you set yourself up for it. You're doing it to yourself because you have too low calories during the week. So if you put yourself into a little bit more of a moderate calorie deficit, yeah, you're not going to lose 2 pounds per week, but that's not sustainable. Like, did you lose 2 pounds a week when you were trying to lose? No, because you couldn't sustain it. So set it, if you're using MyFitnessPal, set it to lose 1 pound a week and see what those calories are. And then just stick to those during the weekend as well, right? So stick to those through the week and through the weekend. Maybe you're going to have a little bit of extra calories on the weekend, but you've already earned right away, you've earned 300 calories more per day, maybe 400. So it's not going to be, you're not going to be like looking for all these foods because you have been giving your body enough calories during the week. So that's why it's not setting up that that need to have. So we're not even going to call it a binge, it's just lifestyle, right? But it's prompting you, once the body sees that it's starting to get those calories because it wanted them all week long, it's going to be like, yeah, and it's going to promote like for you to bring on those calories on board. So does anybody have any questions? All right, you guys are quiet tonight. So basically just think of it like, if you aren't prepared for your next fat loss phase, then it's going to be like running a marathon in flip-flops, right? So you need to get in the training by bringing your calories up to maintenance, and then practicing how to accurately log into MyFitnessPal and accurately track foods, because that's a big one, right? If you're having peanut butter out of the jar, cooking oils a lot, that adds up. Little taste here and little taste there, like all those things add up. And I'm not saying be, obsessive about these things, but just be aware, like 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, that's what 1 serving isn't a lot. And when you start to measure things out and see, then that's what's going to lead you to success, right? Because then you start seeing like, oh, okay, so this is what a serving looks like, and so I did that with peanut butter. Thank you very much. I did that with peanut butter because I was coming home from the gym starving because I was intermittent fasting, and all I had was coffee before I worked out and just do a grueling workout, like kicking my ass with cardio, and then teaching a class after that, and then I come home starving. And so I would just have a couple spoons of peanut butter, sometimes 3, but my spoons were like the big tablespoons. So lick it right off the spoon, and then I looked at the peanut butter jar one day, and it was like there's 14 servings in this jar, and I was like, 14 servings? Like, this thing lasts me a week. And then I'm looking at the serving, I'm like, holy shit, there's 190 calories in 2 tablespoons, and so 14 servings, like I'm having 7 servings of this. So then I did the math. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I actually like took a tablespoon out and measured it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, this is nothing. So I actually had to take peanut butter out of my life for a little bit because like it was like my go-to, and I just couldn't it wasn't satisfying to just have that 2 tablespoons, the 1 serving. I'm like, this is a joke. So I had to get rid of it for a little bit. And then I tried that PB2 stuff. It's not the same. And then I learned about the process of what they do to defat the peanuts. And they use arsenic in that process. And it's like it's just a chemical process of a few different chemicals, a few different drying processes. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with peanuts anymore. Like it's not a great product, so I just ixnayed that. And then what was the other thing? Oh, wine. Yes, wine. So I would drink, if I opened a bottle of wine, then I would drink the bottle of wine. And then I think somebody said that there's 5 glasses in a bottle of wine, and I was like, that's weird because I only get 3. So, and then they're saying like there's 125 calories in 5 ounces of wine. So I started doing the math. I'm like, okay, that's like oh God, what is that? 650 calories? 700 calories? Oh geez. All right, 125 times 5. So 400 is 5 is 600. God, that's not my strong suit. So 625. So I was having 625 calories every time I had a glass of wine. So, again, another light bulb moment, but I'm like, but no, I'm just having 3 glasses, but my glasses were huge. So once I poured out 5 ounces of wine, again, it was like, what is this? What is this? Like, if anybody ever served me 5 ounces of wine in a restaurant, I would be like, yeah, you forgot to put the rest in. So just seeing what portion sizes actually look like are going to be helpful in determining like, hey, maybe I will actually only have, 15 ounces of wine instead of the whole the bottle, which is like 26.5 ounces. Because once I started logging calories, I'm like, okay, so each 5 ounces is 125 calories. So I would have 3, and I'm like, damn, like, my diet, my calories to lose weight were 1,500, and I'm drinking like 375 of those calories in wine. And then, I had already gotten rid of the peanut butter because that racked up calories really quick. But I was like, really, I only have 1,000 calories left to eat food. And I'm like, this isn't good. So dropped my alcohol intake to 2 actual 5-ounce glasses of wine, and then I would allow myself to have a little bit more on the weekends. And then I started like switching over to back when I lost that weight, we didn't have Trulies, that wasn't a thing. It was like Smirnoff Ice, but I just switched to like spritzers. So that's what I was doing. So there's different hacks that you can work around it, but basically it's just altering habits. And so that's that whole process of the primer phase before, it's called the diet before the diet, the things that have to be put into place for you to have success with your diet. So it doesn't make sense to like you say, like I say, you know, if you're going to run a marathon, to just go out and run a marathon. You know, first you got to make sure that you have sneakers, and you have to make sure that you put in some miles. And so it's kind of the same thing. And then once you are actually running that marathon, stay with it, because you're going to want to quit. Your legs are going to get heavy, you're going to get tired, you're going to get thirsty, and things, you know, you might stop, and that's okay. You know, you might walk instead of run. You'll still get to the finish line as long as you keep going. I don't know too many people that start running a marathon that don't actually finish. I mean, I know it happens, but for the most part, I think you have that tenacity to actually finish and see something through, even if you just walk across that finish line. You know, once you set up for it and you've trained and you've put in all this effort, I think that's why you know, you have that will to finish. So just think of your weight loss phase as that. I had somebody reach out to me last week, and she wants to lose 15 pounds by her wedding, which is October 1st. And I said, that's not going to be possible. You know, it was like, I did the math, and it was like 6-7 weeks, like by the time she approached me. And I said, you know, I don't think you're going to be able to do that. And not with me, right? Because I don't, you know, I'm not all about that super fast weight loss. And she was like, well, you must not be a very good coach. And I said, well, I guess not. So I'm not looking for a quick fix, right? Because if she actually does that, and I'm sure she will, I'm sure she's going to find somebody that's going to take her money, or maybe she's going to buy